After 7 years of marriage, Ethan finally asked me for a divorce because of his mistress, Chloe. He said, "Vivian, she's different from other girls. She came to me pure and innocent." I nodded silently. I suppressed my inner excitement, terrified he'd see through me. God knows, if he didn't bring up divorce soon, I'd barely be able to hold back myself. Last night, billionaire Harrison forced me to be his girlfriend using 18 different positions in bed. Now my whole body won't stop trembling. When I tipped the divorce agreement from Ethan, my whole body was shaking. "Vivian, I'm sorry for wronging you." Seeing my uncontrollable trembling, Ethan said somewhat helplessly, "This girl came to me pure and innocent. I need to give her what she deserves." "I understand." I nodded. My body still wouldn't cooperate. It kept trembling, especially my legs. They were shaking like a sieve. But I didn't notice. I was focused intently on reading the divorce agreement. Ethan and I had been married for 7 years. We'd been childhood sweethearts. We started dating in high school and got married right after college graduation. At the wedding, Ethan cried like a baby, saying he was blessed beyond measure to marry me. But in the 3rd year of marriage, he had someone on the side. The first time I caught him, he panicked and begged on his knees for forgiveness. I forgave him. So there was a second time, a third time, an nth time. But he said no matter how much he played around outside, I would always be his wife. Yet this time, he finally asked me for a divorce because of a mistress. I'd met the girl, just 20 years old, delicate as could be. She loved calling Ethan in the middle of the night. Every call, she'd cry. She cried so much it broke Ethan's heart. To comfort the girl, Ethan spent less and less time at home. His sudden return today startled me. What if we'd run into each other? How embarrassing that would be. I'd started seeing someone on the side a year ago. Ethan didn't know. Not that I deliberately hid it. He just hadn't paid attention to me in a long time. Or rather, deep down, he didn't think I could ever betray him. I'd heard him on the phone with a friend, Vivian. "She can't live without me. No matter what I do outside, she'll still wait obediently at home for me." That moment, I suddenly started reflecting on myself. Why could he? But I couldn't. Why could he say so matter-of-factly, "It's normal for men to fool around outside"? But I couldn't. After deep reflection and painful deliberation, I bravely stepped outside the shackles of marriage. My first affair was with Harrison, the heir to the Morrison fortune. That night he got in a fight at a bar. I was watching the excitement from the sidelines. As a bystander, I just commented, "Young people sure are hot-blooded." Then he caught me, "Lady, I'm even hotter in bed. Wanna try?" I looked at his face, handsome despite being covered in bruises, and his well-developed pecs and firm, round ass peeking through his clothes. I boldly tried for one night, and that one try became impossible to shake off. Harrison's clinginess rivaled, even exceeded, Ethan's mistress. At first, he only clung to me in bed. Gradually, he pushed for more. He insisted I make things official with him. Like last night, this young master went crazy in the middle of the night and stormed my house, demanding I make him my legitimate boyfriend. I didn't give in, so he tormented me all night long. If he hadn't had a business trip early this morning, he would have run right into Ethan. Ethan's phone kept ringing. Chloe couldn't hold back anymore and had called several times. Her voice was loud enough that I could hear. She was crying on the other end. "Why is this divorce taking so long? Is she refusing? You promised me you'd divorce her even if you had to leave with nothing. Are you lying to me?" Hearing the words, "leave with nothing," my eyes lit up. Ethan coaxed her in a low voice. "Almost done. Be good, and wait at home. I'll buy you the duck neck you love on my way back. 1 hour. Maximum 1 hour. You must come back." "Okay." Ethan hung up. "Vivian, if there's no problem, just sign." Ethan urged me. Actually, the divorce agreement wasn't bad. Ethan was giving me half the assets. You could see his sincerity. Originally, I would have accepted. But thinking of my current status and all these years of humiliation, not taking advantage when you can brings a lifetime of bad luck. Not taking advantage of a scumbag brings 8 lifetimes of bad luck. So in that moment, I pretended to be upset and said, Ethan, back when Sterling Group almost went bankrupt due to poor management. I accompanied you to business dinners and drank until I had stomach bleeding, all to secure sponsorships and financing. Vivian, that's all in the past. When love is gone, it's gone. You can keep my body but not my heart. Why bother? Ethan tried to reason with me. I think I should have a share of Sterling Group. I stated plainly. Ethan froze. He probably didn't expect I wanted Sterling Group itself, not him. I want 50% of your original shares in Sterling Group, not the cash equivalent. What do you want shares for? Ethan asked, surprised. Nostalgia, I guess. I said flatly. Ethan hesitated. To him, shares were naturally more important. He wanted absolute control of the company. Giving me 50% would mean he wasn't the majority shareholder anymore. Fine. Ethan agreed readily. He probably figured that even if I had shares, I couldn't really participate in company decisions. I want the cash too. I continued making demands. Vivian, don't push your luck. Ethan clearly didn't want to. Money is all I have left. I looked at Ethan. While you have great love. Seeing my bloodshot eyes and trembling body, Ethan reluctantly said, Fine, I'll give it to you. But Vivian, don't come pestering me afterward. It's a deal. Ethan quickly had his lawyer draft a new divorce agreement. I signed it readily. I rode in his car to City Hall. The moment I opened the passenger door, I saw large words stuck there. This princess's exclusive seat. Everyone else back off. Obviously not posted by me. Ethan noticed too, and explained, the girl likes to play around. No problem, I'll sit in back. The ride was quiet. Ethan suddenly asked me, Why aren't you talking? I was looking at messages Harrison sent me. He'd just landed and was message bombing me. Landed safely. I miss you. Do you miss me? Every second away from you is torture. Give me official status when I get back, okay? What's good about that rotten cucumber, Ethan? I'm more handsome, richer, younger, and have better stamina than him. Vivian. Ethan's voice got loud. I frowned. What? Who are you chatting with? Can't you hear me talking to you? What is it? I asked, puzzled. I said after the divorce, if you have any difficulties, you can come to me. After all, we were married. I'm not that unreasonable. Ethan repeated impatiently. Okay. I nodded and agreed. The car fell silent again. Ethan couldn't help but speak again. Don't you have anything to say to me? Then I wish you and her a long and happy life together. I said. No need to pretend in front of me. Ethan was magnanimous. I wasn't pretending. Bitch and dog, forever together. Ethan suddenly said kindly, Vivian, you should see more of the outside world. Your life is too narrow. Haven't you noticed you don't have any friends? Like this after divorcing me. Can you even find your next man? I laughed lightly. We're getting divorced. My business is no longer your concern. I'm worried about you being alone with no one to take care of you. All these years, haven't I always been alone? I said coldly. Ethan naturally understood my sarcasm. He paused. I mean, I have lots of friends. Want me to introduce you to someone? Sure. I agreed generously. Ethan seemed stunned, then said, Okay, when there's someone good, I'll introduce you. After reaching City Hall, we quickly completed the divorce registration. When we left, Ethan said he'd drive me home, but his mistress kept calling him, so he left in a hurry. I looked up at the blue sky and white clouds above, finally understanding what it meant to feel reborn. Over 20 years of feelings truly vanished in that instant. I didn't tell Harrison that Ethan and I had registered for divorce. I couldn't really say why. Maybe I just never thought about making things official with Harrison. We were just playing around. I wouldn't make the same mistake twice. But Ethan's mistress, Chloe, clearly couldn't wait any longer. On the 5th day after we registered for divorce, she posted on social media to mark her territory. We'd added each other on Snapchat at Chloe's initiative. At first I refused, but she was persistent. One day my fingers slipped, and I accepted. The photo showed her and Ethan holding hands, both wearing matching couple rings. It happened to be that day. A mutual friend of Ethan and mine was having a birthday party. We both went. Ethan brought Chloe along. Before I arrived, I heard a group of people joking in the private room. When are you two having your wedding reception? Wait, did Vivian really agree to divorce? I remember she loved you to death, right? Her whole life revolved around you. How did you convince Vivian not to cling to you desperately?
Teach us, man. Before Ethan could speak,
I answered frankly, fair distribution of assets. Everyone looked embarrassed when I appeared. The birthday person quickly smoothed things over and called everyone to the table. I was quite comfortable, but Chloe kept looking at me, her eyes full of provocation. Finally, unable to hold back, she stood up. Vivian, Ethan lost so much divorcing you. And I didn't even complain. I just hope you won't keep pestering Ethan. Let me drink first as a sign of respect. She downed her glass. I ignored her. Chloe got unhappy. Vivian, you're divorced from Ethan. Don't tell me you still have feelings for him. That's enough. Ethan called to Chloe.
Talk about this.
Privately. No. I want her to promise in front of everyone that she'll never bother us again. Chloe acted coy. I just want you to belong completely to me. Her voice was soft and sweet. Ethan ate this up.
He sighed.
Vivian, just give Chloe a promise to put her mind at ease. I glanced at Ethan. I'd almost forgotten, but suddenly remembered. Once when he was drunk, he knelt on the ground saying he'd love me forever. That if I wanted the stars, he'd pluck them from the sky for me. This scene now was truly jarring. I smiled faintly. Don't worry, I don't take trash. Ethan's smiling face instantly turned cold. Chloe didn't look much better either. I continued, let me correct you. When Ethan divorced me, he didn't lose much. It was all what I deserved. Also, half of what Ethan spent on you was my money. Not making you pay it back is my mercy. You should be grateful, not push your luck.
You.
Chloe's face turned red with anger. Ethan protected her. Vivian, even if you can't accept divorcing me, there's no need to make things hard for the girl. No hard feelings. I enunciated each word. Stop being stubborn. I know you can't accept that I don't love you anymore. The door suddenly burst open. A familiar voice rang out. Sorry, I'm late. Every head in the private room turned toward the door. Harrison stood there in a black suit, long legs wrapped in tailored trousers, looking utterly out of place in this noisy gathering. Behind him followed two assistants carrying gift boxes. The room went dead silent, because everyone in the room recognized him. The heir of the Morrison family. The man who had dominated financial headlines since he took over Morrison Capital at 24. The same Harrison Morrison countless socialites tried and failed to get close to. And now he was standing at the doorway holding a bouquet of white roses. His gaze swept across the room once before locking directly onto me. Then his expression instantly softened. Vivian. He strode over naturally and bent down to kiss my forehead. I finished the meeting early and rushed back. His voice was low and lazy. Why didn't you tell me you were attending a party? The entire room froze. Ethan's face changed dramatically, especially after hearing the intimacy in Harrison's tone. Chloe stared at me in disbelief. You know Mr. Morrison? Harrison frowned slightly at the way she addressed me. Know her? He glanced at Chloe coldly before casually pulling out the chair beside me and sitting down. She's my girlfriend. Silence. Utter silence. Someone even dropped their wine glass. Ethan's expression became ugly beyond words. He looked at me sharply. Vivian. I calmly sipped my drink. What? You're with him? Obviously. Harrison naturally took my glass away and replaced it with warm water. You drank again? His brows knitted together immediately. Didn't the doctor say your stomach still hasn't fully recovered? The room became even quieter, because everyone suddenly remembered. Back when Sterling Group was on the verge of collapse, I had indeed accompanied Ethan to countless drinking parties. I drank until I was hospitalized multiple times. At the time, Ethan only said lightly, Vivian can handle alcohol.
But now,
someone else was remembering those injuries for me. Harrison turned toward Ethan. Mr. Sterling. His tone was polite, but carried oppressive indifference. Thank you for finally divorcing. Ethan's face darkened instantly. What do you mean? It means, Harrison lazily leaned back in his chair, I've been waiting a year. My fingertips paused slightly. The room exploded. A year? So Vivian and Mr. Morrison? No wonder she divorced so cleanly. Chloe's expression twisted. You cheated too? I laughed. You say that like your relationship started after my divorce. Chloe choked immediately. Ethan suddenly slammed his glass onto the table. Vivian. His voice was cold. You did this on purpose? Harrison's eyes instantly chilled. Watch your tone. The atmosphere abruptly became tense. Everyone knew the Sterling family and the Morrison family were nowhere near the same level. If Harrison really wanted to crush Ethan, it would only take a matter of time. But Ethan was unwilling to accept it. He stared at me fixedly. When did this start? A year ago. I answered honestly. The night you stayed at Chloe's apartment during our anniversary. Ethan froze. That day. He remembered. That day Vivian had called him over and over. But Chloe had been throwing a tantrum, so he impatiently turned his phone off. Later, when he returned home, Vivian had already fallen asleep on the sofa. She even prepared hangover soup for him the next morning. At the time he thought she was as obedient as ever. He never imagined, that same night, another man had held her in his arms. Ethan's face became increasingly ugly. Harrison suddenly laughed softly beside me. Actually, I should thank you. He looked at Ethan calmly. If you treated her even slightly better, I wouldn't have had a chance. Ethan's hand clenched tightly. The veins on the back of his hand bulged. Chloe sensed danger and hurriedly tugged his sleeve. Ethan? But Ethan suddenly shook her hand off. His eyes remained fixed on me. Vivian. His voice turned hoarse. Are you serious with him? Before I could answer, Harrison casually intertwined his fingers with mine. On his ring finger was the couple ring I had casually bought for him months ago. He wore it every day like treasure. I'm preparing to marry her. The room gasped again. Even I looked at Harrison in surprise. He squeezed my hand lightly and looked at me with grievance. What? You slept with me for a year and still don't want responsibility? I nearly choked on water. The room's expressions instantly became colorful, especially Ethan's. His face had completely darkened. Harrison continued calmly. I can cook, warm the bed, manage finances, and I'm physically strong. Then he looked meaningfully at Ethan. At the very least, I won't make my wife drink herself into stomach bleeding to save my company. Dead silence. That sentence landed like a slap. Like a slap directly across Ethan's face. Because everyone there knew it was true. Ethan's pride finally cracked. He abruptly stood up. Vivian, come outside with me. Harrison didn't move. Instead, he lazily raised his eyelids. She doesn't want to. Ethan ignored him and only stared at me stubbornly. For several seconds, I finally stood up. Fine. Outside the private room, the hallway was quiet. Ethan looked at me for a very long time, then suddenly laughed bitterly. So this is why you divorced so easily? No. I shook my head. I divorced because I stopped loving you. Those words instantly made his eyes redden. You loved me for over 20 years. And you spent 7 years wearing it away. I looked at him calmly. Ethan, love isn't infinite. He opened his mouth but couldn't say anything. After a long while, he finally asked hoarsely, Did you ever really love him? I thought briefly, then smiled lightly. At first, probably not. I just thought he was handsome, and rich, and young, and good in bed. Ethan's expression nearly shattered, but later, I paused. He made me realize something. What? That being loved properly feels very different. Ethan stood frozen in place. For the first time, he clearly realized. The woman who used to revolve entirely around him had really walked away. 3 months later, Sterling Group collapsed into internal chaos because I, holding 50% of the shares, voted against every reckless expansion Ethan proposed. Meanwhile, Morrison Capital quietly began acquiring Sterling Group stock. Ethan worked himself to exhaustion trying to save the company. And Chloe? She couldn't endure hardship at all. The moment Ethan's luxury cards froze, she ran off with a younger man. The day she left, Ethan got drunk and stood downstairs at my apartment all night. When Harrison opened the curtains the next morning, he frowned. Why is that ex-husband thing still here? I glanced downstairs once before lazily turning over in bed. Ignore him. Harrison immediately wrapped himself around me possessively.
Good.
Then he kissed my shoulder and muttered smugly, "After all, I'm the legitimate husband now." And downstairs, Ethan finally realized too late, the woman who once loved him most had truly stopped looking back.